Hello everyone, welcome to the show of Heads or Tails, where we discuss nothing but cricket. We've just gotten over the T20 season, a festival like Indian Premier League. Congratulations to the RCB fans, well done RCB. And a little bit of my condolences for the ones who passed away in the unfortunate stampede that happened at the Chinnaswamy. Right now, we're back with Test cricket, a long summer. We start off with the WTC World Test Championship final between Australia and South Africa. I won't be doing the video on that, but today's video is going to be India's tour of England. A young team, supposedly young team. Do we have what it takes to defeat England in England? Or did India ever have what it took to defeat England in England? It's going to be a very interesting session with all the stats, all the conditions of each and every stadium, the weather related to the city where the match is going to happen, etc., etc. And then I'll give my final prediction on how could the series end up as. Let's begin. Overall, these are the two test squads that have been announced. India has announced it for all 5 test matches. Unless there's a serious injury, there could be some replacement from the India A team. England has only announced their first test squad. I'm not going to analyze the stats for the English team. I will be going over for the Indian team because this video is going to be on the perspective on how India can manage to do well on this tour and actually finally clinch the series in England since 2002. Yep, we haven't won a series in England since 2002. We've won bits and pieces games here and there, but never the series. Now the English squad. So Ben Stokes is the captain. I'm not sure if he's going to be bowling. He hasn't played any international cricket since a long time in any format, not even IPL. So match practice matters. He will be a little bit rusty and India could take full advantage of that. But Ben Stokes is Ben Stokes. Once he gets going, he's a match winner on his own in any given format. So India will still have to be careful, but they can still make the most of it because of his lack of game time. Shoaib Bashir, a spinner. Not sure how many games he will get, especially on seam-friendly pitches like England. Young guy, India has played them well on subcontinental pitches, but he looks promising. So 1 or 2 games he could get a chance potentially. I'll tell you the conditions of those stadiums later on. Jacob Bethel, we've all seen what he can do, but will he get a chance in the Test 11? Not sure. Harry Brook, he has an amazing record in Pakistan in those stadiums. In India, he hasn't done well. He hasn't played a Test match there, I believe. And in England, he has not done as amazing as it sounds like. He's not one of those generational Joe Root type talents in terms of his records. Great player though, but he could be trapped by certain bowlers could target him from India. Brighton Cos is he's going to have some really good movement with the seam. He can bat lower down the order as well. He's very friendly with those English conditions. This guy will be someone to watch out for. He has also a decent amount of experience in test matches. So England, cloudy conditions, Brighton Cos could be quite risky for the new and upcoming batsmen of India. Sam Cook, I'm not sure about his record. Zach Crowley, why does he even play for England? He's been poor throughout, home and away. Ben Duckett is the one batsman I fear the most from England after Joe Root because he is a world-class batsman in any format. He's done well in India, against India. At home, in England, in those conditions, he could be very deadly. He can even score at a very high, fast rate. He's a good mix of David Warner and Travis Head. Jamie Overton. He could do what Sam Curran had done to damage. Bowl a few good overs and bat lower down the order as well. He could be one of those guys when in the lower order who adds up extra 30-40 runs. So India will have to be careful with the tail because of guys like Brighton Cars and Jamie Overton. Ollie Pope. I think he's going to have 1 or 2 big innings and then he's going to completely get tapered off whenever Bumrah is playing. We all know why. Joe Root. Class. The best batsman of England I've ever come across. It's going to be nearly impossible to stop him. What India can do is try to target batsmen around him so he doesn't get time to score as many runs or make those big scores, because if Joe Root scores a 30-40 run inning, you're bound to get a century. He is amazing at any condition. He can adapt to any bowler. And only Bumrah will be the only guy who could trouble him. But Joe Root is world class. He has improved his technique. He could look to play out Bumrah and target the rest of the bowling lineup for India. So Joe Root, Ben Duckett, got to be two batsmen India should watch out for. Jamie Overton and Braden Cars are the two bowling all-rounders India should watch out for. Jamie Smith, I think he's the wicket-keeper. Not sure much about his record. Josh Tongue and Chris Wokes, they've been doing well for when they were playing for England Lions versus India A. But India has played Chris Wokes a lot before. Tongue could be that new bowler who comes and completely rips off Indian batting lineup. But we also have some decent experienced guys who've played in England before. So I'm assuming who've played county have probably played Tongue decently well as well. So that was the English squad. I'm not going to go over the stats. Obviously, they have an advantage as compared to India. Now, we're going to go over the stats for the batting. As you can see in the table, I've put up all the batting averages in away games, in England, and specifically their first-class record. I've put up their highest score as well. I'm not going to go over each and every single person, but I'm going to give you a key summary of my findings here. India's biggest advantage is that Yashasvi Jaiswal has the highest away average. He's never played in England, but he has the highest away game average. He's done well in Australia, South Africa, and I believe New Zealand as well. He has the highest first class average as well, 58, nowhere near him. Most good batsmen are around 50 or around 45. He has 58.8. Very, very good in terms of technique and who can play long games. So Jaiswal is going to be the batsman for the Indian team, especially considering the form he was in IPL and in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So Jaiswal is going to be the main man. He even has a better away average than Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. For those of you who don't know, I've put up Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli as well as Ashwin. For those who were counting that they should not have retired, they should have played one more cycle. Well, Ashwin's batting is not going to be missed that much because Jadeja clearly has a very big advantage in terms of average for batting. We'll discuss the bowling later on. But Rohit Sharma is the one batsman who has the highest average in England since 2020. More so than Virat Kohli, and not by 1 or 2 runs. Rohit Sharma has an average of about 40, while Virat Kohli stands at 33. Big difference. Clearly shows Rohit Sharma suited in English conditions more than he did in Australia. Maybe Virat Kohli liked the Australian conditions better than he did in England. I'm not comparing who's better than the other, but the stats don't lie in terms of the conditions in England. Rohit Sharma also has a better first-class average than Virat Kohli, for those of you who don't know. But how do they compare with our rest of the new batsmen? Clearly, the only guy who comes close to Jaiswal's away average is Virat Kohli, close to 41. But he's played a lot of games. He has so much experience. I expected him to be touching around 45, 50 at least when he was retiring. But sadly, he couldn't because he's had some horrible 5 years in Test cricket at least. Personally, I don't think we're going to be missing Virat Kohli's batting that much. As much as his field placements we could be missing, his aura. Rohit Sharma is the one batsman I think we could be missing at the top of the order. Because the only guy who's going to be opening is Rahul. His average is no more than between 30 and 35 away and England. Imagine a guy who has an average of 40 and Rahul has an average of 34 in England. Who would you prefer? And Rohit Sharma is the kind of guy who can take away the game on his own. Rahul cannot do that. He can give you a solid opening, but he can never take away the game with his own hands and just run away with it. What Rohit Sharma can do, he can derail the bowling attack completely. So I think as much as criticism as I'm going to get for Rohit Sharma, it's his batting that we're going to be missing the most in England. The key batsmen, definitely, like I said, Yashasvi Jaiswal. I think we will enjoy Ravindra Jadeja and Shardul Thakur as well. They have some decent batting. They've done away and especially in England. Both of them have experience in England. Sai Sudarshan will be debuting, but I think he's played counties and he knows how the Duke ball works. So his technique will be valuable, but I'm not going to count on him right now because we have more experienced batsmen like Karun Nair. I'm definitely going to count on him. I'm going to count on Iswaran as well. He has a very good first class average. I'm going to count on Rishabh Pant. a lot more. He has to take the attack hands-on. Once he comes in at number 5 or 6, he has to play that Travis Head-like innings, like a quick 70, 80, 100, those big scores. Quick 30, 40s don't work or standard like Rishabh Pant for a batsman of caliber of Rishabh Pant. So he has to do those big scores. If he does that, India will most of the times cross 300. And once you cross 300 on pitches of England, you're more likely going to win, whether you're batting first or batting second. In England, I guarantee you won't get the flattest of the pitches, because England would not want a batting lineup who has decent experience and a bowling lineup that can do wonders even on a flat pitch. It will be difficult for England. They would not want to settle just for a draw either. So if England wants to win, they will give some little bit of spicy wicket, at least for the first 3 days, depending on the conditions, and maybe it will dry up and help the paces all flatten out on the 4th and 5th day. Though that's the most likely scenario of the kind of pitches you're going to get in England. Do not expect this flat tracks that you got on those games versus in those India A games. Definitely not. My biggest concern is Nitish Kumar Reddy and our captain Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill has an average abroad of less than 30. In England, he has an average of less than 20. A big concern. This is going to be a make or break for him. This series has to be what Virat Kohli did in Australia once he was getting the captaincy. That Adelaide 100, almost chasing down 400 on his own. That's the kind of tournament Shubman Gill needs to have to stamp his authority as a captain. If he has an average of less than 40 in this series, I'll consider it a big failure for Shubman Gill, and questions must be asked. Because you can't get captaincy once if you're not scoring runs. You're not an all-rounder where you can contribute with the ball. Speaking of all-rounders, I think Nitish Kumar Reddy should only play if he bowls well. His bowling stats don't seem that good, because his batting stats seems also decently average. I'd rather prefer a solid batsman who can't bowl rather than having Nitish Kumar Reddy like a bits and pieces player. Now let's get on to the bowlers. Nitish Kumar Reddy has the highest away economy rate, what he played in Australia. Sure, that was the only tournament, but he has the highest economy rate, over 4. The other guy who has that high of an economy rate is Prasidh Krishna, another sign that is worrying. Kuldeep Yadav overall has one of the highest economy run rates in not only in away games, even in first class, over 3.5. The one game he played in England, I remember, it rained out and he went wicketless. Completely made him useless. And he's only played one game in England. He hasn't been that good at away games as well. So I do not see Kuldeep Yadav getting a chance as much as I would probably prefer Washington Sundar, who has a decent average with the bat, decent economy run rate with the ball as well. The key bowler is going to be Ravindra Jadeja, Jasprit Bumrah and Shardul Thakur. These guys have experience in England, great economy run rate, great bowling figures. Akashdeep and Arshdeep are completely new, so I'm not sure when they will be tried. Mohammad Siraj could be an advantage as well. He has some really good first-class figures. In England, he's done decently well, but last BGT, he went for runs. But Siraj seems to have improved, as we saw in the IPL. But again, Test cricket is very different. One bowler we could be missing, in my opinion, is Harshad Rana to an extent. But again, he's new. I would have preferred Yash Dayal. I'll explain you why. If in England, if the pitch flattens out, what the English bowlers used to do is to get wickets was swing the ball in the air. James Anderson was a master at it. So regardless of the flattest of the conditions, even at subcontinent, James Anderson could get wickets because he could, rely on the seaming ball in the air. Though he was more lethal in England, of course, because of the cloudy conditions. Now, who are the bowlers from India who can do that? Jasprit Bumrah. And that's it. The one bowler who could actually do that, who's not in the squad, is Yash Dayal. He actually has a decent economy run rate in first class, around 3. And he's a left armer as well. Maybe we could have preferred him, who takes away the pitch out of the question and basically not only swings the ball in the air, but can reverse it. He has very, very good technique with that. He is a lot more experienced. He can handle the pressure. So I definitely think we will be missing Yash Dayal. I just think, just a gut feeling, he should have been in the squad. Still, we have some decent experienced bowling attack. 1 or 2 youngsters, but in terms of our bowling, I think it's better than England. But our batting, Uh, they have to not play stupid shots. That's it. If they apply themselves like they do in first class, I think India can score runs on this pitch. But the captain is the biggest concern for me in batting. In bowling, Prasidh Krishna. And if Nitish Kumar Reddy is not going to be bowling, don't play him. It's as simple as that. Kuldeep Yadav, I doubt he's going to get a game. He leaks a lot of runs and English conditions won't suit him. For those of you saying Ashwin's record, let me tell you. Ashwin had one of the lowest economy run rates away and the lowest economy run rates in England. Around 2.5. He has an economy run rate less than 3 abroad and especially in England. For those of you saying he has a poor away record, he's done almost as good as Jadeja. Jadeja was preferred just because of his higher batting average. That's it. Now, if you had a specialist spinner where you want to play Kuldeep, I would have preferred Ashwin, but at this moment, I would go with Washington Sundar because Kuldeep leaks a lot of runs. Washington can still bat lower down the order. So these were the few stats. I've told the key players that are going to be for India in batting and bowling. Some concerns as well. Just one person I think should have added was Yash Dayal. And maybe someone like even Akshar Patel could have been considered instead of Kuldeep Yadav. I'm not sure why Kuldeep Yadav has been taken. Just because he's a left-arm Chinaman doesn't mean he's going to bowl well. Just because English batsmen have not played left-arm Chinaman that much growing up does not mean Kuldeep Yadav will be successful there. Joe Root could completely derail him. He plays spin really well. Ben Duckett plays spin really well. Harry Brook doesn't play spin that well, but even Ben Stokes is quite decent against spin. The one guy who could have troubled as a spinner against England is Akshar Patel. He has demoralized their batting lineup when they were in India. And he can bat and a great fielder as well. So that's my only concern. Overall, the squad looks pretty good without Virat and Rohit. Only Virat's aura and Rohit's batting is the one we'll be missing. But again, this is the time to move forward. Now let's get to the stadiums. Ooh, exciting. The first test is at Headingley in Leeds. The second one is at Edgbaston in Birmingham. The third one is at Lord's in London. The fourth one is at Old Trafford, Manchester. And the last one is back in London at Kennington Oval. The weather is going to be a big factor in this series, let me tell you that, because in the first test at Headingley, very cloudy, very seam friendly. The only 2 games India's won here versus England is in 1986 and 2002 when Rahul Dravid, that infamous series. I think we won that. My prediction is England will definitely win this because it's not easy to come up in the first test. Foreign conditions, nervousness, lots of debuts, getting into the condition, getting used to the conditions, and a tough stadium like Headingley Leeds. The pitch is. Don't be surprised if India doesn't score more than 100 to 120, max 150. Don't be surprised. It's not that we're going to be missing Rohit or Kohli. Even if we had Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, would still be down and out in less than 200 if the conditions are going to be as I'm predicting, cloudy and seam friendly. So it's going to be an easy win for England. Don't be surprised if we win by an innings as well. As much as it hurts, that's the truth. Second test, Edgbaston, Birmingham. India has never won there. But the advantage is it's going to be warmer than Leeds. It's more down south. Leeds is more up north where it rains more and it's colder. The temperatures are lower. And so if it's down south, Birmingham, it gets slightly warmer. Maybe in the 4th, 5th days, it could dry up the pitch and it could help spin a little. So when the ball grips, Jadeja could do his trick. So if India's batting first, they have to just make sure, try to reach 300 somehow, because that will be a very good score once the pitch gets better as the day goes on. But again, India's never won here with the legends that we had. So I'm not expecting India to win. Either England wins this or somehow India manages a draw because they play some good cricket or maybe even rain. Because I remember Edgbaston, like at Birmingham, it rains a lot. During summers, like I've seen games complete washouts, not even session washouts, complete day washouts in Birmingham. So India, like I said, rain will be a big factor. The third test is in Lord's in London, the warmest of all the conditions. India has won in 1986, 2014 and 2021. Great ground. It has that one slope on the one side, like slightly at an angle. One boundary is shorter than the other on the square boundaries. So those are the unique conditions of Lord's. The good thing is India has some memorable wins here. And again, during the last days, like fourth or fifth day, the bounce gets uneven. It can help the spinners and even bowlers with bouncers. So if India is, if the team that will bat on the fourth innings will have trouble. So India could try to bat first even here as well. And I'm predicting an India win because these conditions have been more favorable to foreign countries whenever they play here, especially India. So they should completely try to do their best to try to at least get one win at Lord's. The fourth one is at Old Trafford, Manchester. Again, colder conditions, more rainy, cloudier. One of the worst for India because they've never won here as well. This is the ground when India was touring and Jimmy Anderson stood broad, ran through the Indian batting lineup, and India was 8 runs for 4 wickets. I remember that. That's the ground. It was Dhoni 70 or 80 where we managed to cross 100 somehow. So very difficult. India has never won here. But the one advantage is we could predict a draw because of rain. It rains a lot here. And out of the last 9 matches India has played here, 5 of them have been draws. Because probably of the weather. India usually comes in summer in England. And those British summers are very rainy. So that could be a big advantage for India. Just make sure you apply yourselves properly, stay mentally strong, and somehow the rain could help and you could sneak in a cheeky draw. But if it doesn't rain much and the games happen, and the game happens throughout, India's going to lose this. England's going to win this easily. The conditions at Old Trafford are very difficult for even the best of the Indian batsmen. 5th test, Kennington Oval, London. Again, warmer. Usually the pitch flattens out a lot after day 2, 3, 4, depending on the day. After day 33 at the Oval, the pitch flattens out. This is where Gill, Rahul and Rishabh Pant had a memorable partnership where both of them crossed, I think, around 150. So that was a very good run fest. India has won here in 1971 and 2021. The infamous 60 overs should feel like hell. I think this is the one stadium. India can try to win this if they play well. Even if it's going to get flattened out on the last days, this is where you could play an extra spinner. I don't think Lords will prefer an extra spinner because even if it rains, it's better to have a extra seamer. But at Oval, I can go with an extra spinner like Washington Sundar. The rest of the 4 tests should be the same squad with 3 pacers and then an extra pace bowling all-rounder with Jadeja as the only spinner all-rounder. But at Oval, you can go with 2 spinners, I believe, because we don't have any part-time spinners in the batting lineup. Maybe you could try Washington Sundar here because these conditions will suit Washington, especially on 4th and 5th day. I expect India to win, but out of the 14 games, 7 have been drawn here. So maybe it's because of really, really flat conditions or rain. So like I said, rain is going to be the biggest factor in here. Even if India applies themselves really, really well and rain is not that big of a factor, I think England is going to win the series 3-2 respectively. And realistically, we have to be real. Even if India loses this series 3-2, consider it as good as a series win. But if the rains work in India's favor and India manages to play exceptionally well in particular tests that I named, India could potentially win this series 2-1. If those 2 draws happen at Manchester and Birmingham, where they've never won but the rains could help, India can bank on winning in the games in London and somehow manage a 2-1 victory. But those are ifs and buts with rain. But realistically, I'm telling you, most likely it's going to be 3-2 or 3-1 for England. That's my prediction. Now you understand all the stats that I've laid out of all the squads, the pitch conditions and the weather conditions of each and every stadium that I've told you, the most likely scenario as well. And like I said, in England, rains and clouds are a big factor. So just hope that Birmingham and Manchester are a draw. If those 2 games are a draw for India, India can try to win at London. I'm repeating that. India can try to win both of those games at London and go for a 2-1 victory. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot more stats-based video because I didn't want to predict it based on just gut feeling because it's test cricket. You cannot predict on gut feeling in here. You have to look at stats, the conditions, the pitch. It's a 5-day game. And a lot of times players that you see might do well because of recent form in IPL are not necessarily going to be successful in test series. You need who've played first class cricket, which is why I laid out the averages for the batsmen and the economy rate of the first class as well. And that's going to be very important for this squad that they've selected. Almost all the batsmen are touching around 45 as an average from first class. Almost all of the bowlers have an economy run rate around 3 or less in terms of the first class record. So if whoever's questioning the squad, I think they've picked the best squad that they could possibly do. It was time that we moved on from Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli and respectively Ravindra and Ashwin. One or two guys that we could argue could have been as an X factor, which I've mentioned, but again, the selectors know better. Captaincy. There's no one better deserving than Shubman Gill right now. We do not want to pressurize Rishabh Pant. He's our key player. He likes to play freely. Let him do that. Shubman Gill was the ideal candidate. That's simple as that. His batting is a concern, but let's hope for the best and let's back our team and hope we do wonders in England. So if you have watched this video already, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like it. Make sure you do go follow my Instagram. Make sure you also subscribe to this channel because I'll be doing reviews of all of the tests and day by day as well. And there's a lot more content coming out related to other storytelling, not just cricket, maybe movies and some urban legends of India. So if you like various kinds of content and you like my way of storytelling, please do subscribe to the channel and follow me on my Instagram. We'll end this video right here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I'll see you next time. Take care.